Good morning. This is Chloe Dawn, sitting in with Giovanni Gallucci and Alexis Parker, and this is the Daily Trend Report.
Morning, Chloe.
Morning, all. It is Memorial Day Saturday, in case anyone needed a reminder.
Half the country is already in line at a gas station.
And the other half is pretending they were never going to leave town.
I'm the second half.
Same. Alexis is the only one of us with a packed cooler in the back of the Jeep.
Ruby is in the front seat with her head out the window. Yellow Jeep. Golden hour. Dispersed campsite somewhere west of Abilene. Plan is to be back before Tuesday.
I will be on Knox Street with an iced latte and the Mustang in the rear view. That is about as committed to a holiday as I get.
3 sections today. First, clean label food and beverage, which is where the news actually broke this week. PepsiCo, Kraft Heinz, General Mills, and Nestlé all reformulating away from seed oils in the same 90-day window. Second, outdoor, where the Memorial Day surge is meeting a national park fee structure that is quietly redirecting traffic toward land you can actually access. Third, content, social, and AI. YouTube changed how shorts get paid back in March, and most brands have not noticed yet.
Let's start. The seed oil story stopped being a debate sometime in the last 90 days. PepsiCo confirmed reformulation on Lay's and Tostitos. Kraft Heinz, General Mills, Nestlé, all publicly committed. Steak and Shake already converted to 100% beef tallow on the fryers. Real Good Foods is moving its whole frozen catalog. Sales of seed oil-free certified products jumped 216% year over year.
216% is a number you usually see in a press release that turns out to be wrong. This one isn't.
What changed?
Consumer behavior moved faster than the science. The cardiology research community is still defending unsaturated seed oils. That argument is over. The shelf decided.
The interesting part is who got there first. The independent clean label operators have been pitching exactly this for 5 years. Tallow chips, avocado oil snacks, single-source olive oil at a premium. They got laughed at in 2021. Now Nestlé is following their playbook line for line.
And it is defense, not conviction.
Exactly, defense. The big 4 R&D teams cannot reformulate fast enough. The driver is the analyst question on every earnings call, asking about ingredient transparency.
Which is great news if you are a small brand who already did the hard thing 5 years ago.
You have a marketing window that is open right now and probably closes in 18 months once the big reformulations land on shelves. Use it. Put the ingredient list on the front of the pack. Name the swap. Talk about who you source the avocado oil from. What farm, what cooperative, what region.
One thing worth saying out loud, stay off the health claims.
The lawsuit thing.
Class action lawyers are watching this category the way they watched gut health sodas. Olipop and Poppy are both defending lawsuits over gut health language. That did not end well. Specific factual ingredient claims are safe. Reduces inflammation is a complaint waiting to be filed.
What about prebiotic soda itself? Coca-Cola is in the category now.
Coca-Cola launched Simply Pop with 6 grams of fiber. PepsiCo paid $1.65 billion for Poppy. Olipop is at a $1.85 billion valuation. Sales over $400 million, doubling year over year. A category that did not exist 5 years ago now has the 3 biggest beverage corporations in the world inside it.
So the window for an indie launch in prebiotic soda is what, 6 months?
Smaller than that. If you are not already in distribution with a defensible fiber spec, you missed it.
So where does the indie founder go now?
The next adjacent category. Functional fiber in things that are not soda. Crackers, popcorn, dairy, kid drinks. Capri Sun Hydrate just opened the kids' functional category. Pure Leaf put L-theanine in a sparkling tea. The pattern is going to repeat across every adjacent shelf this year.
And the fiber maxing thing on TikTok is real?
Gen Z drove a 9,500% spike in fiber-related article reads. 60% of Gen Z is looking for high-fiber food and drink. Fiber is to 2026 what protein was to 2018. Same shape of trend, faster adoption.
Whole Foods called it too.
Whole Foods 2026 trend list put heritage ingredients at the top. Cane sugar, honey, maple, dates, beef tallow, vinegar, hot honey. Their counsel is essentially saying, Use words your grandmother would recognize.
Which is what every independent clean label founder has been saying since they started.
Hyperlocal sourcing is the other one. 80% of Americans went to a farmer's market last year. 41% went 6 or more times. Regenerative farming purchasing is on track for 40% of farmers' market spend by year-end. The story is not local anymore. It is from this farm, this many miles away, this farmer's name, this season.
That is a moat the big CPG cannot copy. Nestlé can reformulate. Nestlé cannot point at a farmer and tell you the kid's name.
Which gets to the deeper read. The seed oil story, the prebiotic story, the fiber maxing story, the heritage ingredient story. Same story told 4 ways. Big food is being forced to follow small food. The independents who held the line on the ingredient deck are about to look like the smart money for the next 5 years.
If your label is already clean, lead with it. If it is not, pick a public reformulation timeline and announce it. Choosing nothing is the only wrong answer.
Okay, 3 things from this one. 1, if you are already seed oil free, move the claim to the front of the package this quarter. Do not wait for redesign cycles. Sticker it on if you have to.
2, name your supplier. The farm, the region, the cooperative. Generic natural is a yellow flag now. Specific sourcing is the moat.
3, skip the health claims and lead with the ingredient list. The lawsuits in prebiotic soda told you exactly which language attracts a complaint. Plain facts about what is in the can. No promises about what it does in your body. Memorial Day weekend at the parks is going to be a story today. Zion, Glacier, Rocky Mountain, all expecting record traffic. Yosemite is telling people to arrive before 5 a.m. if they want to skip the gate line. First Memorial Day under the new National Park Service fee structure.
Walk us through that.
On January 1st, NPS rolled out an $80 annual pass for residents, $250 for non-residents, and a $100 per-person surcharge for international visitors at the flagship parks. They eliminated MLK Day and Juneteenth free entry. Memorial Day is still fee-free, which is why this weekend is hitting harder than usual. Communication on the rollout was almost non-existent. Gate staff have been telling foreign tourists at Yellowstone they owe $100 each before they can drive in. 5 months of chaos.
How is the customer responding?
I going somewhere else. BLM dispersed camping is up. State park reservations are up. National forest land is up. Interior Department also issued Order 3447 in January, setting the default that public land is open to hunting and fishing unless there is a specific reason to close it. That is rolling out bureau by bureau through summer.
So the federal land that the federal government runs as a tourist concession got more expensive, and the federal land that exists for citizens to actually use got easier. That is a clean story.
Overland Expo West wrapped this week in Flagstaff. 28,000 attendees, 41% first-timers. That is roughly 11,500 brand new buyers who just spent a weekend looking at rooftop tents and drawer systems, trying to figure out what to buy next.
What are they buying?
Smaller than you would think. The dominant 2026 setup is no longer a built-out Sprinter van. It is a sleeping platform in the back of a 4Runner or a Tacoma. Modular drawer system. Portable power station. Starlink Mini. The buzzword this year is Vehicle Integrated Living Systems, which is a long way of saying fits inside what you already own.
Vans aren't dead, but they're not the default anymore.
Compact Class B vans and SUV platform builds are growing faster than full vans. The 24-year-old solo Sprinter dweller is not the center of this market. The center is a 38-year-old family in a 4Runner with 2 kids and a rescue dog looking for a dispersed campsite within 4 hours of home that does not require a reservation made in November.
So the brand visuals everyone has been running for 5 years are aging out.
Exactly. The 23-year-old at the Overlook is not the volume buyer. The family at the dispersed site is. KOA's 2026 report has 52 million North American households camping, past the 2020 peak. Multi-generational and family camping is the biggest growth segment. Brands still showing the solo van influencer are talking to a customer that is not the volume customer anymore.
Toyota's Trail Hunter trim ships with ARB, Old Man Emu, and rigid gear from the factory. They are also selling a $12,000 overlanding package for the 4Runner,
which puts the aftermarket on notice. If you sell entry-level gear Toyota Now bundles, your business changed this year. Smart aftermarket play is moving up market. Modular upgrades, custom builds, premium specialty, or moving toward the SUV fit customer with drawer systems, awnings, dual battery setups, 12-volt fridges sized to a 4Runner cargo area.
What about gas? It is around $4.50 a gallon.
4.52 national average, up 23% year over year. Diesel at 5.43, that is reshaping summer trip planning all by itself. Base Camp is winning over the long-haul road trip. People are picking a spot 4 hours away and staying for the weekend instead of grinding out 1,200 miles in a week.
So the brand message has to change too.
Stay longer in one place beats go further right now.
The other quiet story is American-made. Tariff uncertainty is making Made in USA a real differentiator for the first time in a decade. Forlow, Stone Glacier, Origin USA, Triple-Aught Design, all gaining brand mentions in earned media as tariffs intensify.
If you manufacture domestically, this is your 2-quarter window. Put provenance on the front page. Show the factory. Name the people. The buyer is paying attention to where things come from in a way they were not paying attention 18 months ago.
And the analog thread you mentioned to me earlier this week.
There is a real countercurrent in the outdoor conversation. Paper maps, mechanical compasses, film cameras, no Strava traditions, screen-free weekend framing, sits in tension with the integrated systems trend. Both audiences are real, and they do not overlap as much as you would think. Heritage and Made in USA brands have a natural home in the analog lane,
which is its own moat. You cannot manufacture a heritage. You either have one or you don't.
One more thing on creators.
Vehicle-based adventure creators are closing 5-figure brand deals right now. Build Diary creators, Base Camp creators. The window to work with them at a reasonable rate is closing in the next 18 months. A 12-month partnership with 2 or 3 of them right now will look like a smart spend by Q1.
3 things you can actually do today.
1. If you sell anything that bolts to a roof rack or sits in a cargo area, lead 2026 content with weight, deploy time, and how it fits inside the vehicle people already own. Skip the Sprinter visuals.
2. If you manufacture in the US, put provenance on the front page for the next 2 quarters. Show the factory, name the people, make the supply chain visible.
3. Reframe the trip. Stay longer in one place beats go further at $4.52 a gallon. The Base Camp content angle wins this summer. YouTube quietly rewired how shorts get paid back in March. The new payout model weights revenue share by completion rate and engagement signals instead of raw views. A short with 100,000 views at 80% completion now out-earns a short with 500,000 views at 20%. Daily uploaders get an additional 15 to 25% RPM boost on top of that.
So everything every brand learned about shorts in the last 2 years is wrong now.
Worse than wrong, actively counterproductive. The hook hard, dump them on a CTA, hope the views compound playbook is killing your RPM and your reach at the same time. Every viewer who swipes before the end is dragging both numbers down.
What is the fix?
3 things. 1. Cut the first 3 seconds. Most brand shorts spend the opener establishing context or dropping a logo. None of that survives the new model. 2. End on a beat instead of a CTA. The instinct to close with "follow for more" is making the close worse on the metric that now matters. Put the CTA in the description. 3. Post daily if you can. The streak bonus stacks with the completion weighting.
The harder version of that conversation is internal. Most brand briefs still optimize for impressions. The I/O is sold on impressions. The campaign deck reports on impressions. That is going to be a long Q3 for anyone reporting up the chain.
Build the case now. Completion-weighted earned reach is the metric, not raw views.
Instagram did a similar thing.
Same shape of story. Instagram rebuilt ranking around 4 signals: DM shares, saves, watch time on Reels, profile clicks. One DM share is now worth roughly 15 likes in distribution score. Average organic reach for accounts under 100K followers has dropped from 12% in 2023 to about 6.8% now.
So the question stopped being, would someone like this, and became, would someone send this to a friend?
That is the only test that matters. Pull your last 30 posts. Ask one question on each one. Would someone DM this to a friend? If the answer is no on most of them, you have a content problem, and posting frequency will not fix it.
What kind of content earns the DM share?
A meme, an industry roast, a useful checklist, a send this to your project manager carousel. Sendable does not mean controversial. It means useful, funny, or precisely relatable.
Instagram is also deranking aggregator accounts and watermarked reposts. Cross-posting is now actively penalized. And carousels are quietly beating Reels for engagement. 1.92% versus 1.74%. Full 10-slide carousels at 2.07.
Which flips the Reels first advice from the last 2 years. The mix working in 2026 is 3 to 4 Reels per week, 2 to 3 carousels per week. Carousels carrying the strategic education and the POV content.
LinkedIn is the other one.
LinkedIn's 2026 overhaul dropped organic reach by 50%, engagement by 25%, follower growth by 59%. Story-driven personal posts now outperform company pages by a wide margin. B2B brands that lived on company page content are getting throttled. The companies still showing up are the ones whose founders and senior people are posting in first person from their own profiles.
Which is awkward if your founder doesn't actually have anything to say.
That is its own problem, and it is not a content problem. If your founder cannot block 90 minutes a week to film talking head content or write a real LinkedIn post, you have an executive availability problem. Solve that first.
The Yap format thing on Reels is connected to that.
Selfie cam, no script, minimal cuts, captions burned in. Creators talking to camera like they are FaceTiming a friend. Individual Reels in this style are clearing 800,000 views with zero production budget. Brands paying agencies $40,000 per spot for cinematic vertical content are watching their numbers slide while the founder's iPhone clip beats it.
The reallocation math is brutal. 60% of cinematic budget into founder and operator filming days, 25% into AI character hook testing, 15% for hero brand moments per year. That holds across every B2C category we are tracking.
The contrarian read on all of this is that the brands winning in 2026 are not the ones with the best production. They are the ones with the most uncomfortable executive willing to talk to a phone. That is a hiring criterion, not a creative one.
The other format I keep seeing is the dual format reel. Polished edit on top, deadpan static shot on the bottom. Algorithm picks the winner.
Cheapest A/B test on Instagram right now. No specific audio required, business accounts can run it, no creative brief needed. You shoot the polished version your agency already approved, then shoot a 7-second static cut of the same message. Stitch, post, watch the breakdown in 24 hours. The data tells you which production stance your audience actually wants. Most brands have not noticed it yet.
TikTok Shop is the discovery story.
67% of consumers now use TikTok Shop as their primary product discovery surface, above Amazon, above physical retail. Platform GMV on track for $112 billion in 2026, up from $64 the year before. If your organic plan still treats TikTok as awareness only and routes purchase off-platform, you are forfeiting the highest converting attribution layer in the system.
And mid-tier creators are the right partnership tier?
100K to 500K, 6-month deals, 2 or 3 of them in adjacent niches. Beats one-off mega placements on trust-weighted business results. Mega creator pricing is greedy, and the trust signals are declining. Mid-tier is the smart spend.
One more piece. AI as accelerator, not author. Human-written posts are outdrawing AI-written posts by roughly 5x in organic traffic. Speed without judgment gets ignored faster than ever.
Which is the through line for the whole section. Proof over polish, specific over generic. The founder's face over the corporate logo. The brand that wins on social in 2026 sounds like a person. 3 moves before we wrap. 1. Recut your shorts for completion this week. First 3 seconds tighter, close on a payoff instead of a CTA, push the call to action into the description.
2. Audit your last 30 Instagram posts against one question. Would I DM this to a friend? Rebuild content strategy from that filter forward.
3. Get your founder on camera. Selfie video, no script, 90 minutes a week on the calendar. The cinematic budget reallocation can wait. The calendar block cannot.
That is the show. If you build a small business in the outdoor lifestyle category or in clean label food and beverage, this is the work I do for a living. The Gallucci Net shop builds AI-powered content and social pipelines that look a lot like the one that produced this episode. A daily trend read, a script, 3 voices, ducked stingers, ID3 chapter markers, all running on the same pipe. Same pipe builds your editorial calendar, your platform-native short-form cuts, your founder-first LinkedIn posts. The whole stack. Independent operators, small teams, brands fighting for shelf and feed against companies 100 times their size. That is the work. If that is you, gallucci.net or DM at galluccinet on Instagram or LinkedIn.
Be careful on the roads this weekend. The dispersed campsites are out there.
And the iced lattes are in town.
Talk tomorrow.